Have you ever noticed how easy it is to start a fast, but how much more challenging it is to keep it going once the excitement fades? At 33 hours, which is where I am, your body is ready for healing, but your mind is sometimes ready to not go all the way. Tonight, I'm going to show you how to flip the script, not with willpower, but with a simple system. Cue it, stack it, shield it. That makes fasting feel like it's less of a fight and more like a flow. If you've ever struggled to stay consistent, this episode right here, this one is for you. Hey, if you're new to me, I'm Dr. Dwain Woode. That's Wood with an E. The E stands for endocrinology. Here I educate, I empower, and I encourage you to take charge of your health and your life, avoid complications, go to the next level. We're creating the life we've always wanted, and we are living limitless lives. If you're new to me, go ahead and put new in the comments because I'd love to welcome you with a hand clap and some music. And let you know that we are excited that you are here. If you have a question, go ahead and drop that in the comments, as I'd love to go ahead and get to those questions as we move through the course of our show and our episode tonight. We've got some good things that we're going to be taking a look at. I've got my monitors off to the side. Let's see. Here we go. I've got my Keto Mojo and I've got my Contour. And of course, right down below me, that is my Dexcom Clarity Report, which we'll take a look at in just a minute. We also have got some very interesting things that I want to talk about on our channel, on the website, that we have been excited about showing and seeing and reformatting. But one of the first things I want to talk about is this series that we are currently in, Strength, Strategy, and Mindset. If you've not yet joined us, if you've not been over and engaged, this is one of those pivotal points within our community. So we've been talking about the Limitless Living Health Action Plan, which has those 7 pillars. One of the pillars is strength training. And let me hop over there really quickly and let you see. So this is me during one of our workouts. And so here I am, I'm doing, so what am I doing here? Stomach crunches, leg extensions. We've got, let's see, what am I doing? Doing some curl and presses. Okay. We've got some dumbbell presses that we're working on right there. And so remember, everything that we're doing is with the intention that we are providing a space here so that you jump in, you plug in, you come alongside. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. You can just get in there and start working and start doing the things that we talk about in the Health Action Plan. Remember those pillars, right? So we are walking, we're fasting, we're strength training, balance bites, rest and restoration and recovery, and mental mastery, and so on and so forth, strength, strategy and planning. So you don't have to reinvent the wheel. And that's the idea when you show up. There is a space for all the things that we talk about in the Health Action Plan. And this allows you to jump in and to get in there and to begin working with us as we move to improve our health. The other thing that I want to show you is we've made some changes to the YouTube channel itself. When you get over there, it's much more simplified. We've taken out most of the videos that are on that main page, and you will now find one thing, well, not one thing, but 2 things. You'll find 2 playlists. One that says start here. And this, if you want to get started, if you want to say, hey, what are the things they're talking about? What are the pillars that Dr. Woode goes through? What's the community doing? How do we reverse our diabetes? How do we improve our metabolic health? How do we decrease our blood sugar and get our A1C? This is where you would go and you would walk through this playlist. The other thing that you will see there is this week's videos. So all the videos that we're doing for this week will show up in this list. So if you want to say, hey, what are we talking about this week? I know all the other stuff that we talk about, all the pillars and so forth, but what is the conversation that we're having this week? And you can jump in there and get right to it so that you can so that you can begin moving quickly into that space, right? So we don't want you to come here and lose your way or get confused. If you're sending someone to the channel, if you're bringing somebody to the channel, if somebody invited you, the place you want to start is the start here. There's a PDF that you can download that will walk you through those videos, will give you some prompts and help you to understand how they're categorized. And at the end of that free PDF that you download, there's a limitless living commitment statement. You get to read through that and acknowledge that you are doing the things that you need to do for your health and that you're committed to doing that. And I recommend that you sign it, date it, print it out, put it in a frame, put it up on your wall like I have mine up on the wall. Go ahead and put it on your desk, put it on your window, somewhere where it is a constant reminder of what you've decided to do for your health. And that is so, so important. All right, let's go ahead and let's hop over. Let's take a look at blood sugars. And right here, this is my Freestyle Libre, and you see right there my blood sugar is 80 right now. If I scroll down right about here, you'll see the graph that shows what my blood sugars have been over the course of today. I put my finger and you can actually see there it is. So we've been in the 80s, dropped into the 70s, 75, 76, 77, 74, 73, 70. At some point today, it dipped down because I got a message while I was in clinic that it was low, and then back up now to 80. So we've been in the 70s and 80s for most of this time. I can go to reports, and I can take a look, and let's go time and range, and we're looking at this number right here. So 81% in range with 19% low. So if you combine those two, between low and in range, then we're 100% there. If I go to 90 days, similar number, so 87% in range with 13% low. If I back up and say, what are my averages? What I like about this is it breaks it out into the days, into the times of day. And you'll see right up here, my average over the last 7 days has been 87. Let's go to 90 days. So 89. And then down here, you see it broken out into the different times of the day, right? So midnight, 6 a.m., 12 p.m., 6 p.m., 12 a.m., and you can see what those averages have been. Now let's go ahead and let's take a look at what the Dexcom is saying. And so here's the Dexcom average. People ask me all the time, well, how does the Dexcom compare to the to the Libre? And you see the numbers here. And this, let's go ahead and come down here. We're looking at 24 hours at this point, and I can put my finger and kind of scroll through, and we're in the 80s. We popped up a little bit right there, so that's my toothpaste effect, by the way, right there. So not as pronounced as it usually is, right? So there we go. And then coming across into the 100s, 90s, dropping into the 90s, and then 90s, and here's the 110 is where we are right now. Okay, I love that. All right, so now let's take a look at what my monitors are saying. So I've got my Keto Mojo, I've got my Contour. Let's go ahead and grab from my handy dandy container. We're going to get a strip for the blood sugar, the brown one, a blue one for ketones. And what do you think my ketones are going to be? So we're 33 hours now into this week's fast, and let me grab, these are my Lancets. So 33 hours, so I get that, and then I need a strip for the Contour. Let's get that out. All right, get that back in, and let's go ahead and get this into the Contour, and go ahead and open up, move these things off to the side. I'm going to go ahead and open up the blood sugar strip for the Keto Mojo. And that one didn't go down all the way, but that's okay, we got it. Get this in. And while that's doing, I'm going to go ahead and open this one also. So this is the one for the ketones. And what do you think ketones are going to? Go ahead and start dropping your comments in there. So I'll leave this off to the side because that's the one that we'll need for the ketones. And let's go ahead and go back to this view. And so here's my Lancet, and we'll get a finger and get a stick right there. Boom, boom, boom. Ow, ow, ow. Hopefully, okay, yes, look at that. That gave me a pretty brisk flow there. Boom, boom, boom. Okay, and let's go ahead and get the contour going. And while that's running, I'm going to keep my keep this drop going. So 97 for the Keto Mojo, 90 for the contour. Right there is the Dexcom at 110. And let me scroll back for a minute. And here is the Libre. So Libre is saying 82, right? So different numbers from all of them. Now I'm going to take this out and get the strip in for the ketone and get that one started. And I do see some people starting to put in the comments what their guess is. So 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and low. Wow, look at that. Look at that low. So normal is below 0.5. 0.5 to 1.5 considered nutritional ketosis, and above 1.5 considered therapeutic ketosis. Now that's surprising, and I was looking back. If you remember down here, I said that we did have an effect from the what I call the toothpaste effect. I didn't think that was going to be such a big deal right in here, right? So we started out in the 80s, and then popped up into the 110s, 113s. And so I'm back to that same toothpaste. So do you see the difference there? All right, so we'll have to see what that is as we move through the fast. So low right now, we're expecting 0.5 or higher as we move through the fast. So remember, 0.5, lower than 0.5 considered normal, 0.5 to 1.5 considered nutritional ketosis, and above 1.5 considered therapeutic ketosis. So we'll see what that does as we move through the rest of our fast. And now let's go ahead and we're going to hop over to our Dexcom Clarity Report. Boom, Dexcom Clarity Report. And here is my 14-day average. Actually, let's do this one. 14-day average blood sugar of 112 with my time in range being 98 and my glucose management indicator being 6.0. Okay, so 112, 98%, 6.0, and the range being anywhere from 70 to 180. 70 to 180. If I go to 90 days, okay, so 90 days right in here, 115 is the average with a time in range of 97, glucose management indicator of 6.1, and once again, still in that same target range. If I look at the daily graph, and we're going to go back, and what I want to do is I want to start from yesterday when we started our fast right in here. So right about here. So the fast was 103 blood sugar. And if you didn't see what I ate as my last meal, go back and take a look at that. And so right in here, right, so we're going up, 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 start eating. And so 103, got up to about 113, 109, 107, 101. So kind of staying in the 100s. Into the next morning, which was this morning, in the 100s, low 100s, dropping down into the 90s, right, 94, 95, 84, 88, right, and so 93, and right about here, right, so here's that effect, about 6 o'clock in the morning when I get up and brush my teeth, and we see it start going up, 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 up to 114, 112, and then actually started dropping back down into the 90s, kind of straddling 90s and 100s. And look at how straight that line is right there. Boom, 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 boom. Coming, 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 coming. And right here is where I came home and started working out. And that popped up to about 119. So interesting, right? So look at that. and to where we are right now at 112 is actually what it says. Let me go back to that so you can see. So 112. Okay? All right. So that's what's been going on with blood sugar. And so as we are working on our metabolism, right? We are wanting that ketone to be about 0.5 or higher, which is what we're expecting. But we also want those blood sugars to stay stable. So when we come into the fast and go back once again and look to see what I ate as I got into the fast, and you'll see what was there, because we want those numbers to stay relatively stable, which is what you're seeing now, that they've been kind of staying right around the 100. I don't think I saw anything above 120 in, as a matter of fact, let's go back and let's take a look, right? Let's take a look at that. So let's start from where we are right now. So 104. And scrolling back, so here's 109 words for the rest of today. Down, 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 down. So 119 so far is the highest that I saw. Right, into last night, that's midnight. And then midnight into last evening. See right there, we were 108, 107. And then down back to where we ate our meal, which was 105 right in here. So within the last 33 hours, right, of the fast, right, we've maintained that number of between 100 and 120, which is what we say we want those numbers to be. And we want those numbers to be like that for most of the time. Let me say that again. So people say to me, what should a normal blood sugar be? Well, a normal blood sugar, right, it's a non-diabetic range blood sugar. I shouldn't say non-diabetic range. So a normal blood sugar is 70 to 99. And so we tell people we want their blood sugars to be between 100 and 120, right, which is higher than 99, but it is the lower end of what we would consider to be in the diabetic range. If you have a blood sugar that ranges between 100 and 120 all the time, then your A1C will approximate about a 6.5. So an A1C of 5 is an average blood sugar of 100. And then for every point in your A1C, then you add 25. So 125 would be a 6, 150 would be a 7, for example. Okay? All right. So now let's go ahead and let's say hello to our community members, because I see you guys out there. Let's do that really quickly and just acknowledge everybody. And I see Kenty. Kenty, what's up? Kenty came through and smiley face. How are you? And then Anthony Chorns Sr. It's a nice setup. Thank you, man. Appreciate it. Thank you for coming through. Let me give you a. All right. So let's see. So something's going on with my music. Let's get over here. Get that. Okay, that's not the one I want. But anyway, so we can give you a hand clap for that, for coming through and just hanging out with us. We really appreciate when we got folks who are coming. Here it is. Boom. Thanks for coming through, Anthony, like that. And Jennifer say, howdy y'all. Hey Jennifer, what's going on? Said hit the like button. Thank you. Yes. Thank you for saying that, Jennifer. Hit the like button. And Steve is here. Steve is saying hello. Jennifer saying hello to Steve. Jennifer, hello to Kenty. Hey, guess keto. Yeah, so Kenty was guessing ketones of 0.5, but you see Kenty, they were lower. Pamela, hello everyone. What's up, Pam? What's going on? Jennifer say hi, Pam, and then Pam, hi to Jennifer. Yeah. So love the community, and the community is an amazing one as we are rallying together and helping each other through this whole process. All right, so let's go ahead. We're going to hop into our discussion for this evening, because I want us to really spend some time talking in this area, because it is one of those areas that causes some challenges for people. And so let's see if we can clarify that a little bit. Okay, let's go ahead and do that now. So all right, let's dive into it. Let's dive into it. So we're 33 hours into the fast for this week. And this is the moment where most people start asking an interesting question. And it is this: how do I keep going when motivation runs out? That's the question that goes into our minds. Because I'm going to use a phrase that I don't like to use, right? So I'm trying to find a different phrase, but here it is. Life happens, right? And so the key question that people ask is this one, because fasting isn't about pushing harder, it's about setting up systems that carry you when willpower fades. And let me make a point about willpower. Sometimes we laud little willpower as this humongous, tremendous thing, and sometimes we poo-poo it. But willpower is not to be lauded as this super important entity, and it's not to be poo-pooed as though it doesn't matter. In fact, motivation and willpower go hand in hand, right? Because it is when motivation is high, you go off and you hear something that really pumps you up, and you say, I'm gonna do this. And the thing that carries you through the next week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks or whatever, that initial period, is a combination of motivation and your willpower. So neither one is to be like relegated to insignificance, but neither are they to be lauded as though they are the ultimate. And so what I want to do is I want to share a simple framework, which we started talking about, that helped me and so many other people stay consistent through fasting and beyond. And it's called Q, Stack, and Shield. And we introduced this earlier this week. So Q it, stack it, shield it. 3 anchors that make habits automatic and sustainable. Let's go ahead and let's break it down. So Q it, stack it, and shield it. Q it, stack it, and shield it. So first of all, let's talk a little bit about willpower and motivation. I'm going to combine them there. Why willpower fails at 33 hours. So at 33 hours, the brain is running low on quick energy. Let me say that again. Say it a little differently. So at 33 hours, your brain is no longer using sugar. And remember, sugar is, I equate sugar, you remember those old movies. Let's just say old movies, because they have some movies out right now. There's a whole series that they're filming that have shown that everybody's up and excited about. But they're drag racing, and one person may be losing, and they reach over and there's this little switch, little button. Right, there's a switch there. They flip up the red thing and they hit the switch, or they hit the button, and out comes like this amazing amount of energy, and the car takes off. I like to think of sugar in that same space. You know why? Because sugar is that quick energy that we get. It is like when you're ready, when you need some stuff, oh yeah, sugar is there for you. Sugar is going push it. Sugar is going to do for you what you didn't anticipate. All that energy, the extra energy that you need, oh yeah, sugar does it. Sugar said, "Come on, we got you. Let's do it. Let's do it together." And when you hit that button, then everything takes off. And that is the beauty of that fast energy that we get that comes from sugar. But it is not lasting. As a matter of fact, that very car that we just talked about, right? When that energy is gone, the energy is gone. And so what's left is the stuff that was there before. And so at 33 hours, that quick source of energy, which is sugar, is gone. And so at 33 hours, if we're not careful, we begin to get into what we call decision fatigue, and that begins to increase. Number 2, hunger cues get a little louder before they get quieter. Yeah. So people think when I get into a fast, man, my hunger is going to just go away. Well, the hunger actually gets a little bit louder before it finally goes away, because we're so used to the way we eat and the cues that our body gives that we misinterpret as hunger. And so we see that, we feel that, we sense it, and those cues are pushing us, and we're so used to succumbing to hunger that we end up giving in. And then number 3, cortisol stress responses may rise without a system. The initial time of fasting is actually seen as a little stress to the body, and so the body's cortisol levels actually go up a bit. And if we're not careful, if we don't interpret that feeling properly, because remember, cortisol does a lot of things for the body. It goes out and it finds energy, right? It's a form of sugar. Sometimes cortisol will make you a little shaky, right? Because there's that. Think of cortisol as that. Don't think about it. It is that stress hormone. And what are people like when they're stressed? Right? They're a little jittery, a little anxious, right? So they got that butterfly in their stomach. So those same symptoms, those same signs can occur, and if someone is not careful, they misinterpret that as though this is a reason, or saying that I need to stop. So at this stage, your body is shifting into fat burning, but your brain is still looking for the easy exit, the easy fix, that burst of energy that comes from that high carb. If you're relying on raw willpower, this is right now where people quit. But if you've built a system, then this process, it's not that it doesn't happen, but the process is easier to kind of get through. So why does willpower why does it fail at 33 hours? Yeah, there it is. Okay. So now let's get into the meat of it. Cue it is number 1. So what does cue it mean? Remember, cue. Cue it means that we are producing, or we're putting it in place, an anchor that makes a habit automatic. So a cue. So I was, you're going to tell you a little story. So I was at a conference a couple weeks ago. You guys remember we took some kids down to Orlando. And so I'm walking through the exhibit hall, and there is a sign there that says actors wanted. And so I walk over and I'm talking to the lady, and she's telling me about this stuff. And so she says, oh yeah, so she's telling me all about the screen reading and so forth. And I said, you know what? I think I'm going to send my son over here. And she laughed. And I said, why are you laughing? She said, well, everybody says that. They say they're going to send their kid over, but nobody ever says, I'm going to come. And so, of course, sounds like she was challenging me. And so I signed up. And so this past Tuesday, yes, we had our first reading. And so they sent the script. Well, we all got on. They sent the script. And so in the script, there are these cues. So that when that happens, it tells you how to progress through the cue. It tells you how to speak. It tells you the energy you should have when you're talking. It tells you when to speak after someone else, whether you should be waiting until they speak or you guys are trying to talk over each other. There are all these little cues. And the cue simply is something that you see, that you hear, that happens, that pushes you to do the next thing. It's an automatic behavior. So cue. For example, what would be a fasting cue? What would be a fasting cue? Well, every time I feel hungry, every time those pangs come, I drink water with electrolytes. So notice what I've done is I've paired the cue, the thing that happened, with a behavior. Not the behavior that comes automatically, but something else. I'm building something else. Going back to our COPE model, clarify, observe, pause, and execute. The pause and execute. The execute is the other thing, the thing that you do other than what you normally do. So every time I feel hungry, every time those pangs come, I drink water instead of eating. Okay. What would be a movement cue? A movement cue, because we're talking about movement, right? So metabolic optimization via exercise. So as soon as I close my laptop for my lunch break, I take a 10-minute walk. So what I'm doing is I'm building, and we're going to talk about something that sounds similar in a minute, but I'm building my behavior based on the cue. So when the cue happens, the behavior happens. And what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to align those together so that they are fitting with each other. And so one happens and it's on an automatic process. I no longer have to think. I no longer have to walk through it. And the brain interprets a cue as a default instruction. And when it does that, it reduces the friction between what I want to do and where I am. It becomes automatic. This happens, then that. It's almost like an if-then statement for those of you who are computers or math or engineering, right? So if this happens, then that happens. And there's not an alternative. If this happens, that's going to happen. It's not if this happens, then sometimes that happens. When I first started walking, my cue was simple. It was, I got up in the morning and I knew I had to do a video. Or I didn't do a video in the morning and it's lunchtime, I had to go do a video. So the videoing that I did and the videoing that I do, for me, serves as a cue. So I built that together. So there was a time when as I was working through that process, right, I would have my backpack, and I've got my gimbal, and I've got this, and I didn't have my mic. And so now what was going on is when I was ready to go, I would have to go find this and put it in the bag and find that and get it together. And that did not work. So I got my go bag now. And in the go bag is everything I need. When I travel, like if you've watched some of our strength strategy and mindset, I'm at the hotel room or at the hotel gym working out. How did that happen? Because the bag is already ready. It's done. And so there's a cue. I get back to the room and boom, I don't even sit down. I grab my stuff and I go. Sometimes I went downstairs and changed in the hotel gym. Why? Because if I stayed upstairs in the room, you know how that goes. So no debate. No scrolling first. We cue it, and your brain follows the path that you've already paved out. We're cue it, number one. So that's what we do, right? We start by cueing. Number two, we stack it. So let's talk about what stacking means. And this is the one that a lot of people confuse with the cue, right? So stacking means attaching a new habit to an existing habit. The cue was attaching it to an event that happens. But this is a habit. So for example, fasting, here's a fasting example. While you make your tea, you do 2 minutes of stretching during the fast. The mindset example. After journaling your fast hours, you write one gratitude line. So what I'm doing is I am taking a habit that I already have, and right now, you know, if you've been walking along with us and strength training with us, we are on 220 something days now into the year. So that is now a behavior. It is a habit that is there. And so now we can actually add some stuff to that. Notice what happens. We became consistent. However we became consistent, we stacked it, we added it, we queued it, whatever the process was. But now we have a habit that is there. And so we can now begin adding other things to that. So we're stacking, habit stacking. This reduces the decision fatigue because you're not starting from scratch. You're not having to make the decision anymore. And stacking works because you don't create a new slot in your day, right? It's not like, okay, let me go find time to do that. I already have something I'm doing. I'm just aligning something else with it. I'm piggybacking whatever I want to do onto the slot that already exists. Yeah? It's already there. I'm just attaching to it. One of the funny what is this? There's this comedian, and one of the things that I saw him do recently is he's riding around the countryside, and a van or a truck comes, and he's riding and he's having a hard time, and so what he just does, he stops riding, and he just holds on to the truck. Because the truck is already going. The habit's already there. The energy is already being expended. I don't have to do anything. All I've got to do is I just got to latch on to it. So less resistance, and we get a smoother ride. Right? We're just coming along for the ride. So we cue it, and we stack it. And after we stack it, we shield it. So a lot of people have a plan. A lot of people have decided that they're going to do it. As a matter of fact, people have downloaded the Limitless Living, the start guide that we have on our YouTube channel. They've downloaded it, and they've printed out the commitment statement. They've signed it. They've put it on the wall. They've put it on their mirror. They've got it on their desk. They queued it. They stacked it. But they never protected the time. They never protected the habit that they're trying to form from sabotage. Like what? Here's a simple, silly, simple example that happens all the time. Happens to me. Don't keep soda or chips in the house during a fasting window. I told you guys several weeks ago, we went out, we bought a bunch, well, not we, I did, bought a bunch of Cadbury chocolate. You guys remember that? Yeah. So I bought a bunch of Cadbury chocolate. And so I decided, well, I can't have it here at the house. So I took it to the office and I gave it to people, and they put it in the refrigerator, which is great. It's not at my house, but guess where I am all day? Right? I'm at the office. So that was not protecting my fasting. When we sleep, we talk about rest and restoration. Right? We put our phones right there, and I've got all kinds of stuff here to plug phones and iPad and whatever in. And it's beeping, and it's thising, and that's thatting, and somebody sends a message, and it's interrupting my sleep. But we charge the phone right there. What I need to do is I need to put it elsewhere. Now I'll tell you my reason how I justify it is that, well, I'm on call, so I've got to be able to hear that. So I haven't found a way around that yet. Right? But you get the idea. We don't build it into our calendar. So someone asks us to do something and we say yes, only to find out that, oh my goodness, that was the time that I was going to go exercise. That was the time I was going to do my journaling. That was the time I was going to, whatever it is, we never protected the time. And when it comes to sleep, our sleep time, the time that we go to sleep, we will do everything we possibly can do and squeeze in one last thing. And then when we finally are ready to like pass out, we go to sleep. Why? Because we didn't protect the time to go to sleep. This is why I keep zero sugar stuff at the house. You can say what you want. That's okay. So the other day, so I decided. So let me tell you. So I decided that I was going to drink more water. That was the plan. Drink more water. And so I had bought, my zero stuff, and it was in there, and I used it all up and said, okay, I'm not buying any more. That was end of last month. And I came home and there was nothing. It's water. I'm drinking water. And do you know I found myself eating more? Because there are some things that I get from this that I don't get from water. Now I can make, you could put water, you can, they have the little thing that makes it sparkling and bubbly and put the carbonation in it. I can go through all of that. But yeah. But I cannot keep. I used to be a juiceaholic. Yeah. A Mountain Dew-aholic. That's what I used to be too. But I don't keep those around. So when the urge hits, my environment pushes me towards success, not sabotage, because I've created in my environment a system stacking or protecting what I want. When I am making my schedule, when people are asking me about doing different things during the week, I am mindful of my fast. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. That's when I fast. So if you're inviting me to a birthday party or something like that, I have to be mindful that, I can go, but this is my fasting time. And I create for myself something that protects me during that time. So we cue it, we stack it, we shield it, and then let's go ahead and let's see how we tie this back to the game board. How do we tie it back to the game board? Cue, stack, and shield equals the system squares on your health game board. So it's cue, stack, shield. We're putting those there. You don't rely on luck to win a board game. You rely on strategy. And I've already told you my strategy for Monopoly, right? I'm getting the most expensive thing on all the properties. So anytime anybody lands on there, come on. My cousin gets properties on different sides of the board. Right? So one of them gets on the opposite, and one of them gets it like at right angles, because he said, well, there's no way that somebody's going to land on this side and roll and make it all the way to the other side. They have to stop somewhere on the property. So he'll get properties on this side, he'll get properties on that side. Like, I don't care where the property is, I get the most expensive ones. I'll spend my money. That's my strategy. And right now it works. So we don't rely on luck. We rely on strategy. The same thing when we're fasting. In fact, the same thing when we're walking through the Limitless Living Health Action Plan. Your strategy is to build into your environment routines that help move you in that direction. When you build your fasting game board, you don't have to out-muscle the cravings. You have to out-system them. We're not trying to out-muscle it. We're trying to out-system it. So that's the framework. We cue it, we stack it, we shield it. Simple words, but powerful anchors. If you want fasting or any health habit to last, don't leave it to willpower. Don't leave it to motivation. You want to build a system that makes success a default. And as we've been talking through the health action plan, that is the question that everybody has. In fact, when the experts talk about metabolism and they talk about what people do in their lives, everybody agrees. Everybody agrees that most of the things that we do for metabolism are doable. Like walking is not a big deal unless you have some physical reason why you can't walk. Strength training. A lot of people say, "Well, I've got a gym in the garage." As a matter of fact, we went out, not we, but this is what people tell me. We went out, we bought this and we bought that, and we joined the gym and we did this. People will, as a matter of fact, someone in the office today was talking to me about getting a chef. Or people sign up for these programs where they send you the food. People lose weight. The things work. But everybody in the industry agrees also that it is the ability to be consistent and to do it long term that's the issue. If we believe the statistic, most people who are trying to lose weight or get metabolic benefits will try a diet between 2 to 3 times a year. December's coming around and people will say, "Oh, by God, on January 1, when January 1 comes, this is what I'm going to do." And they go. They'll join a gym. They'll spend money for a trainer, like I did. And come February or March, what happened? And then they'll dig in again. Right? Now it's May, June. Oh man, it's summertime. Yeah, I'm going to get out. I'm going to do my thing. Right? Lots of fresh fruits, fresh vegetables. We've got air out there. The sun is shining. We're going to the beach. We're going to there. Yeah. And then now it's October. And man, I didn't do what I was going to do. Let me try to get in for the last part of this year. And then they start over January 1. So people don't lack motivation. People don't lack desire. Nobody gets up on a daily basis and say, "You know what? I'm just going to do anything I can to make my diabetes worse." Nobody says, "Today I'm going to do what I can to increase my weight." People don't get up and say, "Well, I'm just going to disregard my fatty liver." Who cares about it? Every day, people are getting up and they are wanting to do. They are wanting to improve. They are wanting to get better. And they are trying this after that, after this, after that. And they have some modicum of success in that initial phase. The willpower, the motivation, the spark of that match happens. The question is, how do we maintain it? How do we put it as the default now of who we are? We're no longer trying to be. One of the interesting conversations in behavioral change and habit forming and so forth is this concept of identity versus a behavior that somebody's doing. And the one that they use a lot is, smoking. If you are not a smoker, it doesn't matter if I walk up to you and say, "Hey, here's a cigarette." Or "Let's go get a cigarette." You know what you say? "I don't smoke." It's not a, let me see. Maybe I'll take one this time. It's like, I don't smoke. which is different from someone coming to you and saying, hey, here's a cigarette. And he's like, yeah, man, I'm trying to stop smoking. Well, I'm trying to stop smoking says that there's a possibility that right now I will smoke because I have not gotten there yet. But when the identity, remember the alignment or the rhythm, when the rhythm is there, when the rhythm is who we are, the alignment, the behavior follows that. So rhythm, alignment, and the thing that makes them come together and remain is the structure. Cue it, stack it, defend it, protect it. That's where that comes in. It allows us to do what we need to do to install this, not as a behavior that we are trying, but as this is the person who we are. Cue it, stack it, shield it. When we do that, when we're able to do that, man, the things that happen, this becomes, and I'm going to say it's not that it becomes nonsensical, that it never is a problem, but it becomes so much simpler. If you want fasting or any health habit to last, don't leave it to your willpower. Build a system that makes success the default. So I want you to choose one thing, a cue, a stack, or a shield, and find a habit and put it into play during your fast. Let it carry you and notice how much smoother the process feels. You will find that if the system is there, that it makes things much, much better. That's how you install. That's how you maintain. That's how you that's how you get off of the hamster wheel and allow yourself to be successful as you're moving through the metabolic space. Keep listening. We'll be back. And all right, family, that is. I always say, you guys say, I say that's my favorite. Yeah, that's my favorite. So here's the takeaway: willpower starts the fire. No doubt. Motivation, yeah, let's do it. But systems keep it burning. When we cue it, we stack it, we shield it. Suddenly, fasting isn't a fight; it's a rhythm. And one of the mindset changes that someone just this week, someone sent me a message for one of the videos that we did, because I was making the point that fasting is a tool. Fasting is not something to be born, not something to be, hold on by the skin of your teeth or your nails. No, this fasting is something that we do because we are using a tool. Think of it as a tool. So this week, I want you to try one system, one microsystem in your own fast. Maybe it's the cue. Maybe it's, every hunger pang equals water. Maybe it's a stack, tea equals stretching. Or maybe it's a shield, cleaning up your kitchen and putting something on your calendar to say, no, nothing is going to go here. And then remember, this isn't about perfection. It's about consistency. We build the fasting game board so that success is automatic, and we let our body show us just how powerful it is when we stay the course. When we're able to get there, oh yeah. This is what it is. And this is what it means to play your own game. That we are using our own behavior, we're using the things in our lives to take us where we need to be successful. Awesome. All right, let's go ahead. Let's see. We've got some Community members out there. Let's see. So let's go over here. So Steve says that his ketones are currently 3.6. He finished a 48-hour fast last night. Jennifer says, congratulations, Steve. That's fantastic. He said first time is that he's ever done a 48. Whoa, Steve. Good for you, man. First time he's ever done a 48 hours. Congratulations. Pam says congratulations to Steve. And always excited when we're seeing benefits within the community as you guys are improving your health and having great success. And let me rephrase and add in there that this is personal. You guys heard me say that today when we did our check-in. It's personal. It's not just a number. It's not just something that as a physician I tell you or your doctor told you to do. It's not just some random, mythical, ethereal thing that we're trying to get to. You've seen some of our community members talking about their grandchildren or their children, talking about their spouses, talking about their family members, and being there for them. That's what this is all about. I'm glad the numbers are better, but how do we keep you alive as long as possible and keep you as healthy as possible? That's the goal. That's what we want. That's where we want you to be. And that's always exciting to me as we, and I've told you, whenever I'm teaching, whenever I'm talking, whenever we're doing the shows, I'm thinking in Triple E formula for success. That's how I teach. How do we change your mindset? How do we give you a different perspective? How do we get you to understand more? Number one, educate. How do we empower you? Because having knowledge without the ability to apply it is very defeating. So the tools that we use, Balanced Bites, the Health Action Plan, the HEAT model, the COPE model, all of those are tools that allow you to put into practice, in a practical way, the things that we're learning. And then the community is there to support and to build up and carry and push and allow you to lean. Right? So educate, we empower, and we encourage. So whenever I'm thinking, whenever I'm talking, that's where I am. That's how I teach. That's what the platform is all about. When you come, you get to plug in. That's why I push the 100-day walk to consistency in health, the strength, strategy, and mindset, the fasting that we do, right? The mental mastery, which is the shows that we work on. All of those are designed to give you a space to utilize the tools. We empower. And then if you're tired of being on that hamster wheel, you're tired of being one of those people that tries the three metabolic diets a year, you're tired of starting in January and then being done by March, and you're tired of being fed up, go to our website, DwainWoodeMD.com, scroll down the page, and you'll see there the Limitless Living Health Accelerator Program. That is our flagship platform. That's our vehicle for being able to install these as the default in your behavior, in your life, so that you can be successful over the long term. I'm just so excited that I get to walk along with you and get to be in this space with you. We will continue our check-ins as we go through the rest of the week. Some things are going to be a little different because we've got some changes in our schedule. So tomorrow we will do our check-in about 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Tomorrow night, our community will do our monthly meetup. So make sure you guys pay attention to that link that will show up in the community area. That's going to be 7 o'clock. Our show tomorrow night is going to be recorded. So come back on and just support that. On Friday, we'll be out of pocket. That will probably be a recorded or recasted video as well. We're still working that part of it out. But there will be something in the space for each of those times that you're expecting something to be here. Tomorrow afternoon, we'll do our live check-in at 48 hours. Tomorrow night, 7 o'clock, our community will meet for 7 o'clock for our community meetup. Our show tomorrow night at 9 o'clock will be recorded. And then Friday also, as we break the fast, as we do a complete fast, that will be a recorded video as well. We'll have video from the vault Saturday night at 9 o'clock. And then on Sunday morning at 6 a.m., we will have This Week in Review as we kind of move through the rest of the week. So just wanted to give you an update on what's going on there. We want to make sure that you are coming through, that you are working, that you are doing the things that you need to do, that you are engaging. So when you show up, share your story. Let us know the successes that you're having. Let us know what's going on in your lives. Even when you're having challenges, we want to know, because your question and your challenge is actually the answer to somebody else's question. There are over 1 billion people on the planet right now with metabolic dysfunction relating to diabetes and prediabetes, and a whole host of others that have other metabolic diseases. You can be a voice to say, hey, we can do something different. And this is a space where you get to do that. You get to share this with people. So when you have your benefit, don't just keep it to yourself. We are a community, right? We educate, we empower, we encourage. The encouragement is the community. So make sure that you're doing that. And Limitless Living says that we're not allowing anything to stop us, nothing to keep us from doing what we need to do. We're pushing through the boundaries, pushing through the borders, pushing through those things, those obstacles that want to keep us down. And we are showing up with our best self, our best health, and the best plans for our life. And we're going to be successful. Thank you for letting me be with you. And thank you for walking along with us. This is Dr. Dwain Woode. That's Wood with an E. The E stands for endocrinology. Here we educate, we empower, and we encourage you to take charge of your health and your life, avoid complications, go to the next level. We're creating the life we've always wanted, and we are living limitless lives. Now go live a limitless life. We'll see you for the rest of this week. Good night, everybody.